Hi, welcome everybody to another video of There Is Life After Mental Illness. I'm Bill MacPhee, your host, and remember that recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anyone other than who you are today, and there is life after mental illness. In today's segment, I'm doing a talk on friendship, basically on pillar number 2, which is of recovery, which is on relationships. And the goal in relationships is to basically bring out the best in people and to really make people feel important and become encouragers. And we're talking about friends, and really a lot of us are very fortunate if we have a couple good friends. And what I'm doing in today's episode is I'm actually interviewing one of my friends that I've known a long time. And secondly, what we're going to be doing tomorrow, on tomorrow's vlog, we're going to be in Toronto, Ontario, and we're going to maybe be doing a streeter, asking some people about stigma of mental illness, or maybe, seeing what people's thoughts on mental illness is in the city, doing a little bit of a streeter, just interviewing some people. So, not really sure, not structured, but we'll be in Toronto tomorrow, and we'll see what's going on, and we'll bring that to you. So anyways, remember that there's life after mental illness, and recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anyone else other than who you are today. Have a great day, and hope you enjoyed today's video. Hi, Bill MacPhee here with Life After Mental Illness. Well, today we're going to be talking about relationships and friendships. As you know, the 6 pillars of mental wellness or recovery, the second pillar is on relationships. And the goal in relationships is to basically become encouragers of people, to bring the best out in people. And that's what the thing is with friendships. That's what you want to do. Now, a lot of times people with mental illness, because we are going through such a hard time, we seem to want to focus on ourselves. That we always want to, it's about us, or I'm not feeling good, it's about us, and it consumes us. And that's very, very common. It's sort of like when somebody's injured, all the effort goes to that specific injury. But we have to learn that when we're dealing with friendships and relationships, is that it's always a two-way street. And that's why, in order to have good relationships, is that we have to learn our social skills to encourage each other and to become an asset and not a liability. So, you know what, and reality is around friendships, is that if you have a couple of good friends in your life, you're doing pretty well. We're in this stage of social media, and obviously you're watching this vlog, but with the social media, we have lots and lots of Facebook friends and things like that. But you know what? Really, if you have a couple friends, you're doing really well, because half the people on Facebook you really don't know, right? So that's important to realize. So if you have a good friend, in my life, I probably have maybe 2 or 3 really close friends that I could tell almost anything to, absolutely anything to, which is very, very, very good. So as I was saying, with the friendships, with people not only having a few, you're very fortunate if you do, and that's the goal, that we want to have a few really, really good friendships. Now, what I did, I wanted now to kind of introduce you to a friend of mine that I've known since probably 1993. When I started to publish my magazine, or at least have the idea for SZ Magazine in 1993, I started to take some courses at Niagara College, some small business courses, and one of those courses was called How to Start a Small Business. And sure enough, my teacher back then was John Siemens. And
so Bill and I were together in this class, in effect, with other students, and I would ask students to introduce themselves and explain why they were in my course and what they were looking to learn. And most people, and these are all adults, were kind of reluctant to stand up and explain their purpose, what they wanted. So they'd be, 20, 25 seconds of somewhat embarrassment. And then Bill got up, and he had the class for 5 or 10 minutes, and it was only because I had material to cover that I had to say, okay, Bill, that's great, thanks a lot, we have to move on. And Bill was an active member of the class, and we just connected. His vision, I thought, was amazing. His inspirational element to the vision was also awesome. So we've kept in touch all these many years later. I was around when his kids were little. Sorry, Bill. Met his wife and his sister-in-law. And Bill and I still get together this many years later over coffee or tea at a Tim Hortons or takeout place. And it's great.
And one of the reasons why we did hit it off, John, to share with that, is that, I was getting into the publishing field, and John was already in the publishing field working for Crabtree Publishing, right, John?
That's right.
And Crabtree publishes children's books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was very interesting, and so we've always kept together, and over the phone we'd get together, and I'd ask him sometimes business questions and different things like that. And John's been kind of like a mentor to me when we're there. So so that's good. And you know what? We'll get off the publishing. Let's talk a little bit about cycling. You're a big cyclist enthusiast.
I do enjoy cycling. I averaged over 5,000 kilometers a year for 17 years. Excuse me. And it's a great escape, and lucky for me, it's also good exercise. So yeah.
John? Do you think the frame of mind for a cyclist is the same as a runner? Running, is it the same, or are they really two different?
No, I think it's the same mental focus, Bill, because there's a zen that goes on where your thoughts just come and go, and I find it difficult to stay focused on any specific subject for more than a few seconds because so many things are happening all the time, the birds, the road surface, traffic, whatever. But it's an escape where your mind goes someplace where it can do what it wants and resolve issues and refresh itself.
Yeah.
So running as well, even walking, hiking, any number of things.
Well, you mentioned that you're kind of in your mind, you can think and everything. That's what I tell the. I mentioned in another vlog that I've done that a lot of the viewers know that I have a third job of delivering pizza for my friend Kay, who owns a pizza franchise. And I get into the vehicle, and I'm in my own world. You can think, listen to whatever music you want to.
Exactly.
I can pray, worship. It's just really, you're in your own environment, and
Right.
it's really neat that way. And so everybody's different, but everybody needs that solitude sometimes to really think, and because we live in the world of stimuli today. We have so
Right.
much stimuli, don't we?
Yep, absolutely, and we do need that escape. I totally agree.
Yeah. One thing, John, I don't know if you remember this, and I don't know if you remember saying this or not, but I can remember being at McDonald's. We went out for supper one day, and I like to eat. You see me, I'm a big guy. I like to eat. But you said something I just couldn't relate to. You said, "Oh, I hate taking the time to eat. I wish we didn't have to eat at all. We could just breathe and get our nutrition without having to eat." And I'm thinking, "Oh no, I could never do that."
It's still one of my 3 wishes in life. After world peace, of course, and having to take 1.5 tons or 2 tons of metal wherever I go, I can deal with that with the cycling. And why do we have to eat bulk food? How much energy and money do we put into consuming bulk food? Why can't we just breathe in nutrients and get our energy that way. Our bodies should be healthier. We may not have as much energy, but we probably won't need as much. It's just, I think, a much more efficient way of existing as living beings. I'm the only one, I think, on the planet that subscribes to that, but I'm glad Bill remembers it. Maybe that's the definition of a friend. They remember your silliness.
Well, no, you know, we talked about Facebook and all the friends and that. You know what the definition of a friend is, don't you, John? Is that they're a real friend if you could ask them to lend you $50 and they give it to you. I think, you know, that we have lots of Facebook friends, but how many of them would give you $50?
My brother defines a friend as someone that you can call at 2 a.m., middle of the night, and say, I need you, can you get here? And they don't ask why. They hang up the phone and they're on their way.
Yeah.
That's a friend. And
Yeah.
you're right. How many people on Facebook that are, you know, within driving distance would do that? I think none.
Yeah. But talk about your cycling. I know that you have a few bikes. Talk about the equipment, the weights, and in cycling. You think, you know, you were there with the weights and the cycling. Is there still technology advancements in cycling?
There are huge advancements. Disc brakes are now being seen on road bikes, which are traditionally, road bikes are designed for what are called weight weenies, people who try and shave a gram here and a gram there. So to put disc brakes on road bikes, it's happening. They also have electronic shifting now, DI2, for the rear derailleur on bicycles. Carbon fiber now is everywhere. Fat bikes, they have bikes that have 4-inch wide tires. You don't need shocks because there's so much damping of the road and the trails through these huge wheels, huge tires. So yeah, there are a lot of innovations, and weights. At one time, if you had a 20 or 25 pound bike, you know, it was pretty good. And mine are around the 20 pound mark for my road bikes. Anymore, if it weighs more than 15 or 16 pounds, you know, that's an anchor, dude. That's heavy.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of technological changes that are happening all the time. And the better the bike, generally the easier it is to ride because it weighs less. The gears are so smooth.
Wow.
Saddles, you can spend $400 on a saddle. It's more important to break your butt in than to buy, to my thinking, than to pay $400 for a saddle. So yeah, Bill, it's non-ending.
Yeah. Wow.
Technology is very much in effect in cycling.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so again, you know, recovery, our definition of recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anybody else other than who you are today. And the pillar number 2 is in relationships. And again, the goal in relationships is to bring the best out in people, to be encouragers, and to try to nurture those friendships, because we really need, nobody's an island. We need help. We need people in our lives to help us. And John, I just want to thank you for being here today, and thank you for your friendship over the years. It's meant a lot. And so we'll end there with this. John, do you think you can lend me $50? Hi. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And also be able to send me your questions at bill@billmcphee.ca. As well, for more information, go to billmcpheerecoveryexpert.com. Links will be in the description below. Come back for another vlog tomorrow, and remember, recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anybody else other than who you are today. And there is life after mental illness. Have a great day.